Hello there. The Canadian Prime Minister said he is willing to start formal trade talks with the UK the day after Brexit. Now, before I start, I want to point out that this video was put together before any decision was made on the situation in Syria. Now, in news that gives a boost to Brexit Britain, the Canadian Prime Minister, Mr Trudeau, said that not only would trade between the UK and Canada continue seamlessly, but also that negotiations towards a trade deal that could be more impactful than the current EU deal could start the day after Brexit Day next year. Canada plans to use the current EU agreement, the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, or CETA, as the starting point, and Mr Trudeau said that a UK-Canada deal could go further than that and be an even better or larger or more impactful deal. There will be things in CETA that are no longer as necessary between Canada and the UK, and there'd be other areas where we would be interested in going further. Trade deals are always challenging, but it should be fairly easy for all of us to get to an improved approach on trade between Canada and the UK. Now, this will get right up the Eurocrat hooter if they think we'll be getting a better deal than they did. The boss of Germany's National Bank, Andreas Dombre, has admitted that the City of London will remain as Europe's financial centre after Brexit, despite all the attempts of EU firms and cities to lure bankers away from London. Speaking to the Radio 4 Today programme, he said that the people who worked in London were reluctant to move, and that, "I believe London will continue to stay an eminent financial centre of this region." And he added, "There is a big willingness to stay in London, and some of those who have been asked to go would rather take a cheque and stay than move." Now, despite all the good Brexit news, the Remainers are still at it. The Telegraph has revealed that pro-Remain groups are launching a £1 million anti-Brexit campaign this weekend, with the aim of trying to get a referendum on the final deal that will offer the UK public the option of staying in the EU. MPs from all three major political parties, says the Telegraph, including Anna Soubry, a Tory, and Chuka Umunna from Labour, will join forces with anti-Brexit campaigners to demand the chance to remain, branded the People's Vote. This campaign is being headed by Open Britain, which is backed by one Peter Mandelson. The truth now, though, is that they are not wanting the UK to remain in the EU. In reality, they want the UK to join the new EU. The EU that now at last talks openly about taking more power away from its member states. The EU that wants its own foreign policy to control member states' foreign policies. The EU that wants its own navy, its own army and its own air force. The EU that has its own military satellite system. The EU that wants to control member states' finances. The EU that wants to extend Schengen open borders to all member states. The EU that wants all member states in the Eurozone. The list goes on. This bunch of Remainer EU mania sufferers will, though, lie and lie again and try to put across a false message that we can somehow go back in time and slot back in with no change. Well, that time has passed. In fact, it was never really there. The EU wants to be a superstate. That has always been the aim, with the member states merely becoming subordinate regions, and that is something the people of the UK will never accept, as they have more pride in their country than the UK-hating Remoaners do. And the EU is very keen to keep the door open to the UK as well, it seems. This probably comes after Eurostat recently started to publish EU27 post-Brexit statistics that show what a big hole the UK will leave when it takes its money away. So Michel Barnier, the EU chief Brexit negotiator, told our Prime Minister that Brussels would consider allowing the UK to stay in the single market if she changed her mind any time up until the end of the transition phase at the start of 2021, says Sky News. If Britain decides to change its red lines, we too will change our positions. We remain open. There are no dogmas, he said. And it didn't take long for Tory MP and Brexiteer Ian Duncan Smith to fire back, said The Sun. Whatever he thinks is irrelevant, said Ian Duncan Smith. We're leaving on March the 29th next year. The UK has chosen quite categorically to leave the single market and the customs union. It would do Barnier and the rest of the Commission a lot of good to stop trying to interfere in UK democratic processes. Instead, they should get on and do their damn job and do what he's supposed to do, which is to make a good arrangement for both the UK and the EU. One last snippet. The BBC is reporting that car makers fear that rising trade barriers after Brexit will cause them a problem. But in the same article they claim that Brexit uncertainty is causing people not to buy cars right now, saying that the number of cars sold in the UK fell by 5.7% in 2017, with the ratings agency Moody's predicting another 5.5% fall this year. Surely if you are uncertain and looking to replace your car, you'd do it now, while you certainly know you can get one. Also, where are the marketeers pushing a buy while you can message? They normally shamelessly push any message to shift cars for a profit. Then there's the fact quoted by the BBC that we import 2.3 million vehicles a year from the EU and export only 800,000 to them. Now I know they'll probably be of different types, but is shifting all that tonnage of metal about the EU really that efficient? And the BBC also points out that, despite the uncertainty about a future trade deal, a number of big car makers have committed to building more cars in the UK since the Brexit vote, including Nissan, BMW, Toyota, and last week Vauxhall, which is owned by French group PSA. So, EU-based companies will be as keen as anyone to keep trade moving, won't they? So, please let us all know what you think about a Canada deal, the City, the new Remain campaign, Barnier wanting us back, and the vehicle trade by leaving a comment below, but also don't forget to grab the video link and share it across Facebook, Twitter, and by email. Thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.